Hi guys, I'm down in Berkhamsted, just outside London, and I'm doing a proprioceptive course with Simon King, and I just thought I'd want to share the experience that I had today because it's pretty mind-blowing when you look at how the body's functioning and some of stuff that Simon King's doing. Simon's proprioceptive work is really identifying that how the nervous system is continually giving us feedback, how the body is functioning. And that this the nervous system, that feedback is regulates and has a huge influence on reflexes which also change proprioceptive information back up to the brain. So it changes neurology, which makes total sense from a chiropractical neuro physical point of view. The interesting thing is that we tend to always think that joints are all about proprioception, but it's the muscle spindles which are there regularly firing and giving us feedback of how we're functioning. Um, so my experience today, what I wanted to share with you and relay of perhaps how we're thinking of what we're doing in our environment and doing to our bodies is proprioception puts a lot of emphasis or has found a lot of emphasis in its assessment with how we react with metal. And if we stop and think about it, there's a lot of things which we do um, in our everyday life that involves metal, whether it comes to jewelry, piercings, even going through to amalgam fillings. So even wearing a chain, putting a chain which has weight and stimulates some of the receptors, proprioceptive feedback into the system through the skin. It doesn't even have to be a piercing, which can change our neurology and change how the body's working. And this was my experience today. Throughout checks, I was coming up, which wasn't really too much of a surprise to me, some weakness in my hamstring. I find when I'm playing golf, if towards the end of the golf or my golf round, or even later that night or the next day, I tend to get a bit tight into my left hip, my gluteal muscles, my hamstrings. And it's always just thought, well, that's some of the mechanics of how my golf swing, we load into the left side. When I got checked out today and we were going through the techniques, I was kind of failing into that hamstring and hip system. Um, and I've had chiropractic and done exercise therapy work on that before, so it wasn't really too much of a surprise to me. The difference was when then going through more the proprioceptive feedback. Um, we know I wear a couple of rings. I have a silver necklace with a pendant on. But these things weren't showing up. What was coming up strong was a copper bracelet. And I've worn a copper bracelet for last 6 or 7 years. And never really thought much that's affecting me much until I got assessed. And I was just going, it's blowing out my nervous system. Take the bracelet off, and I go very strong through the legs, balance well. I get stronger in a golf posture, and put the bracelet back on, and I go fatigued. These muscles fail. Now, there's not a structural problem with the muscle. There's no muscle damage. I haven't injured that muscle because once I take the bracelet off, everything fires properly. So it's about the connection. And this is really interesting when you consider that something around your wrist is changing the neurology in other parts of your body. So perhaps we've got to think about that when we start looking at piercings, and we start looking at nose rings, earrings. One or two guys today who checked up with a metal watch. And never mind even going on to amalgam fillings and crowns, etc., which comes up strongly in Simon's work. So I've had a few patients through the years who fall into the category with metal and pendants and interactions with one or two things with amalgam filling. So it's not a surprise to see it. But this is just a great system where we can explain why the body may be failing and creating an injury. And that's really more about the nervous system getting overloaded and changed rather than actually the muscle. So I certainly look forward to taking this information back into our center. I have no doubt this will change certainly some of the outcomes and results, and and only benefit the quality of care that we deliver to our patients.